Good afternoon. I am Anna Fotyga, Polish member of the European Parliament, and on behalf of the ECR group, I have the pleasure and privilege to host today two very distinguished speakers discussing issues of common interest between Belgium and Poland. We are here in the European Parliament, therefore allow me to introduce first very important member of the European Parliament, somebody that we call here a senior MEP, Johan Van Overtveldt, of the same political group, European Conservatives and Reformists, who during this legislature chairs important committee on budgets of the European Parliament, earlier holding also the office of Minister of Finance of his country. I understand that you are also a member of academia in your native city, Antwerp. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
And our second speaker is Polish, the member of my constituency, Tomasz Rakowski, who is the owner and director of the innovative information company, the young entrepreneur of Poland. He is also very much engaged in pro bono activity within the community and currently running for the office of the mayor of Gdańsk, of my native city of Gdańsk. So, gentlemen, welcome to both of you.
Welcome. Thank you.
I would like to start with questions to Johan Van Overtveldt, asking him for his experience in assessment financial possibilities or opportunities arising from current multi-annual financial framework and available for cities in Europe, in particular for big cities. It is important part of our deliberations here in the European Parliament.
Yes, indeed. First of all, my sincere thanks for having me. And let me also express my appreciation of the fact that we can combine here the city of Gdańsk and my hometown of Antwerp. Both are important ports. Both have historical links through the Hanseatic League. So we should be able to talk more or less the same language, of which I'm convinced that we can do. The European Parliament has several, European budget, has several instruments that can be used for city development, entrepreneurship within cities, which is of course a very important issue. I can go into detail of all these programs like Horizon, like InvestEU, like the Cohesion Fund, but maybe first my partner from Gdańsk can come up with some ideas or some remarks that makes it possible for me to give concrete answers to probably concrete issues that are on his mind.
Yes, of course. Panie prezesie, panie Tomaszu, czy zechciał... Sorry for this. It's usual, I turn to Poles in Polish, so I'm extremely sorry for this.
Sorry, my Polish is very poor.
That is why I'm sorry for this. Could you please tell us your vision for development of Gdańsk, and how do you see this city in the broader context of Europe, of Gdańsk as our window to the world.
Okay, thank you very much for having me here. And what I can start with is that maybe I can say that the cities have always been the engines of innovation, of economic growth, and the social progress. And Gdańsk, as you mentioned, was a member of Hanseatic League, and basically it stands as a testament to the transformative power of the urban centers. Because once we were the wealthiest city in Poland, thanks to the ports, to the status of the critical transport hub, and Gdańsk has a rich legacy of facilitating trade and cultural exchange. Today, we stand on the edge of the new era, and we would like to reclaim our position as a leading city, not only in Poland, but within the European community. And the strategic utilization of EU funds is a crucial thing in this journey, offering us the resources to, for example, revitalizing our infrastructure, or foster some innovation. For example, or make some applications of elements of systems that could be used within the city. And telling this, I have one particular thing in mind, because one very pressing need for Gdańsk is addressing urban congestion, and I'm thinking about using some advanced traffic management system, so the systems that are available on the market already. And I think that this project aligns very well with the EU's vision of improving urban mobility, enhancing quality of life, and achieving environmental sustainability. And by leveraging EU funds, such as those from the Recovery and Resilience Plan, for example, Gdańsk can implement smart solutions to urban challenges, setting a benchmark for cities across Europe. So this is very specific need that I have identified. So this management of traffic in the city, and I know that there are ready solutions, ready systems that can be implemented in the whole area of our hometown. Therefore, this is something that maybe we could discuss and talk more about that.
Okay, now
Johan, yes.
that's a very interesting topic. I've been listening very carefully, because as you already briefly referred to, the famous, or by now famous, Recovery and Resilience Facility of the EU, the 700+ billion euro fund, which consists more or less half of grants and half of loans, is certainly entirely suited to call upon for what you call the infrastructure and the congestion problem that you have in the context of the Gdańsk airport. Because obviously a better infrastructure, less congestion in the port, certainly is contributing to a better resilience of not only the Gdańsk area, but of the whole Polish economy. So I would be very surprised if properly advanced a project with respect to that would not be something that can be taken into account when these funds are used. And with respect to the grants, the Polish share in the grants of the total of the EU is close to 26 billion euros. So that's a considerable amount, and I think your project can be perfectly or partially fitted into that. But if you allow me, there are even more possibilities, because, for example, you also have the InvestEU program, which exists basically of guarantees given by the EU to facilitate the financing of major projects. And again, what you described as what Gdańsk, the port of Gdańsk, is in need of, again, I would dare to assume that it would be perfectly fittable into what InvestEU is doing. But the story continues. You also have the Horizon Europe program, which is more than 10 billion a year available. It's more, how should I say, directed towards research and development. But of course, if you develop a system that would make the congestion in your port less bad as it is today, that is clearly something that can fit into the definition of major innovation. So also there are possibilities, and then of course, last but not least, you have the cohesion funds within the European budget. As you may know, the European budget on an annual basis is between 180 and 190 billion euros. 1/3 of that goes to cohesion funds, which is exactly meant to increase, like the term already says itself, the cohesion among regions in Europe. So I think you have at least 4 major sources of financing guarantees available to which you can address yourself for the projects you've been talking about earlier.
Yeah, to make it clear, I was telling about the congestion in the city itself, not only the port congestion. Yeah, so the traffic is very high in Gdańsk in the main arteries.
Sorry, I misunderstood that, but that does not
yeah,
change.
no problem. No,
Yeah,
no problem.
Change my
No problem.
argument.
Yeah, of course, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
The same.
Yeah, but in general, the development of ports is also very important, and I think, as I said before, that having the great investments in port would make it possible for Gdańsk to become the wealthiest city in our country, and which I think is a very ambitious but realistic goal that I'm also talking about during our meetings and when I'm presenting the vision. Because once you have a port, once you have a hub for the basically for the whole for this part of Europe, then the money just flows in. So we just need the infrastructure. We just need to make it bigger. We just need to make it more advanced, and it's really advancing because the port in Gdańsk, you probably know the numbers, but it has the very high increase in cargo in the last years. So we are catching up. We are doing this, but in my opinion, we should do more. We should invest more, and probably utilizing some EU funds would make it faster, and then it would contribute to this part of Europe, basically, because Port of Gdańsk has a major chance to become the biggest port in the Baltic area, and this is my aspiration here.
Well, I think that this bridge between Antwerp and Gdańsk, not only historically, but also because of many ideas that are common, is so important nowadays. I understand, Johan, that in Antwerp we have very experienced and innovative team in power, also looking into development of the city.
Yes, indeed. The city has even its own research department, research and development department, where all the possible items that come across when you study harbor development are under constant scrutiny. And so I can really confirm what you just said, that Antwerp has developed several important ports in Asia. For example, the Singapore port was, Antwerp made an important contribution to the development of the port there. So we really have some experience with respect to that. But actually, when I was talking about financing possibilities, I forgot one major item, and that's of course the European Investment Bank.
Oh yes.
The European Investment Bank. A lot of people forget it, but that's the biggest bank of the world in terms of balance sheet total. So they have huge resources. I think I have the impression that after being somewhat dormant in the last years, they got to a new elan, that they have a new drive to contribute to the development of Europe, certainly in the geopolitical context that we know now, of which Poland is, of course, very much aware what's happening in Europe. So I would not hesitate, if I were you, to also consult the European Investment Bank, where the Polish government certainly has a representative on the board of directors.
Yes, of course.
So that would also be something to look into. And the ideal, if you allow me to be that clear, is of course that you would try to get a combination of cohesion funding, Horizon, EIB involvement. I think that would be ideal and would really offer you a lot of resources to be used for the further development of the whole Gdańsk area.
Panie Tomaszu, bardzo.
Yeah, if I can ask a question, because this Horizon program, Horizon Europe, it just caught my attention because you said that this can be used for some innovation, research and development.
Yes.
Was it? Yeah. Okay. So
Well,
this could also.
moreover, I think that when we speak about Horizon Europe, there is a historic item important that it was considerably weakly used by Polish entities, not to the such extent as in western part of the EU. And here I think that your experience as leader of the very innovative enterprise may be of utmost importance in order to enhance this path, this particular route of development, and using opportunities that come up with our participation within the EU.
Of course, I believe that. Yeah. Sorry, I believe that when you have some entrepreneurial mindset, so I mean this is how you tackle problems, how you tackle difficult situation, that creates some unique attitude or some unique opportunities you can see that other people just cannot see. And this, of course, gives some advantage, and this can create, this can open up some new chances, that opportunities in this area. But in general, I think that if we are talking about innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship, that we should do everything we can to attract more people with such skills to being more publicly active, I would say, to engage more into social things, and to contribute more to the society, and not only be closed in their own businesses and enterprises, because this would make things just simply run better. This is
and solving problems.
Yeah. General, yeah.
That's
exactly.
it.
If I may add one thing, I think it's important for anybody, and not particularly the city of Gdańsk with everything that comes with that, but in general, that you approach these different or the different sources of finances more or less simultaneously, because for example, of course, in cohesion policy, one is used to work with governments or authorities. In Horizon, one is much more accustomed to work with companies. InvestEU has a little bit of both of them, and mostly informally, they have contacts, and the information goes around. So the more cards you have in the play, the more are the chances that you get green lights along the road. Maybe not in every station where the train stops, but the more you get involved with each of these institutions, you can get a kind of cumulative effect because of synergy.
Yes.
So my advice would be, don't bet on one or two of them.
Yeah.
Base it broadly. It's a little bit more initial work, but the chances of success increase substantially by having a multi-functional approach.
We share this view. Gentlemen, I'm afraid our time is almost over, so eventually some concluding remarks. I would give the floor to Tomasz Rakowski now.
Well, I would. The time has flew very fast because I also asked one more question to our to our guest here. But in general, I would say that I believe that Gdańsk stands ready to work hand in hand with the EU to foster innovation, resilience, and sustainable development. And as I said, we call on the EU to support our advanced traffic management system as a model project, showcasing the power of collaborative investment in urban infrastructure and innovation. And this would be cool, and this would be really beneficial for the citizens of Gdańsk if we would be able to introduce, for example, this kind of system to Gdańsk, because this would change the lives of tens of thousands of people just like that. So this would be the really perfect example of how the EU funds can transform the lives of people to better and make the future better, basically. Yeah, so this is my conclusion, and this is my hope.
Johan, you near quite a round of elections. What are your wishes to your people, your city, your country?
That we can further develop in peace to the benefit of all citizens, and I think that's what we all want. There is only one guy in Europe or in the broader context of Europe, who don't seem to agree with that desire, which is very unfortunate, but we have to stand firm against that aggression, and I hope that we can contribute from the standpoint of the EU to development of important regions, like, for example, the Gdańsk region. And if I have contributed today a very little bit to what by explaining what are the possibilities, then I have had a good day.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. You are extremely experienced, and we value naturally this advice. And Johan Van Overtveldt tells this just in days preceding his visit to Kiev. So he's an MEP of very broad interests and very broad engagements. I wish my dear city, my home city, Gdańsk, as well, development, conditions, and much better conditions for real expansion and possibilities for every person to live there in good spirit, good conditions, having real prospects for children and grandchildren. And I wish you success, naturally.
Thank you very much. And it was a great summary that I would sign myself under it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
Thank you
very
very
much.
much. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.